Are we recording?
Yeah.
Are we recording? Hello? Are you there? You should be listening. Okay. Hey everybody, Dr. Michael, day one. So when my absolutely amazing social media lady Hannah said, we need to put this all down because your brain scares me and it's amazing what I've gotten done, we decided to roll with this. And she said, what is that? Because I have something just like that. And I said, it's my schedule. Because if I'm gonna make something new and great, it has to get done. So when people say they need a schedule, most people, it kind of goes, eee! They squinch like, I hate my schedule. Actually, what most people say is, I can't do that, I'm on the schedule. You wanna go on a vacation? I have to see if I'm scheduled. I have to see if I can get the time off. They have given up the most precious commodity that they have, and that's time. Time is the number one most important thing you have. Take back control of it. When I say set up a schedule, it's about time management. It's about getting done the things that are important to you. My schedule is full of things that I want to do. And if I want to take on a new project, the first thing I do is I sit down and I fill out a schedule. I don't know where we're putting the button or the downloader info, but there's going to be a download here, and it's going to have several different schedules. It's going to have one that's blank. It'll have the typical 9 to 5 schedule and the person's average typical day. It'll also have what I would consider, like, if I had a 9 to 5 job, this is the way that I would set it up. And then it's got my actual schedule of what's a day in the life of Dr. Michael. First thing to understand about time, quantum physics, manifesting, metaphysics, all that stuff is kind of my hobby, and what I love the most of is time doesn't actually exist. It's very flexible, but you can't make it and you can't create it. Everybody has exactly the same amount. So what do you have to do? You have to literally take it. Well, I have to make time for, you can't make time. You have to take time that's available. And a schedule allows you to take that time. And that's why I do it first, because if I get my schedule right, I set my priorities, and it's just, this is what I do. And so many times people are like, I'll wing it, I need to get this done, and then they get nothing done. And so for me, it's really easy because I can get in a zone and go, beep, my little alarm goes off, and I'm like, oh, it's time to get this done. Because if it's not scheduled, it rarely gets done well or correctly. Now, me personally, the first thing, and Abby and I, what we schedule first when we look at our whole week is, when is our time? We try to schedule 4 to 6 hours of alone time for each other, not once, but twice, not a month, but a week. We schedule each other first because she is my first priority as a person. I take care of me first so that I can take really good care of her, and we can take great care of the children, and then we can help wonderful people like you. So the number one thing to do is set your schedule, get your priorities. What do I want to accomplish? For me, I have to get in my mindset, then I can go to work. So I'll meditate, I'll do yoga, I'll do exercise, I do focus, I do goal setting, I do my journaling. And then I step back and go, okay, what's next? Well, everybody gets the same 168 hours a week, and it was perplexing me because I've done really, really well. I'm not gonna lie, I have a great life. But I didn't always have a great life. And I used to look at goal setting like, really, you're gonna write it down? What is this, I'm like magic journal? No, really it is. It's a lot like a Harry Potter thing, because in Harry Potter, he wrote it down and things happened. I've been journaling now for probably 15 years, and I can pull out journals from 15 years ago and open them up and say, this is what I wanna do. And I've got a date where I did it. I don't have any significant goals that I haven't already accomplished. So I've been in the process since we moved into the new house, really focusing on bigger, better, more evolved goals. And this class is the beginning of one. I want to help people learn what I do. Abby and I are going to start starting our nonprofit now for single moms and disabled vets to help them get ahead and create online incomes. And we're doing coaching for our high-end clients, and we're teaching health and wellness. Most people don't realize how much their health and wellness affects their day-to-day life until they lose it. So if you take that same 168 hours a week, the number one thing people say is, I would, but I don't have time. I don't have time. You do have time. I have time. You have time. That 168 hours, people work 40 hours a week. They're left with 128 hours. That 128 hours, you've got to sleep. 8 hours a night's ideal. So we'll give you 56. I don't personally like sleep. So if I get 4 or 5 hours a night, I'm perfect. I get more than that and I'm like groggy. But you know, you got to eat as well. So now you've got 7 hours, 3 meals, 20 minutes about a day eating, give or take. 7 hours a week. You could have a whole second full-time job at 80 hours a week and you still have 25 hours of free time. Scheduling is about finding your free time. So when you have time, you then know how to leverage it. And once you've leveraged your time, you can scale it. And we'll get into that more and more, but basically if you've got everything scheduled that you want to do, if you look at my schedule, there's my social media time, there's my branding time, there's my product and funneling time, there's my team time, and there's my daughter's time, my son's time, there's my wife's time, there's my time, there's gym time, there's eating time, there's meditation. It's all in there. If you want my time, we have to put you on the schedule. It's just how it is. And so once you've got it done, the way that leveraging works and the way that people like Gary Bezos does $111 billion in the same time that most of us are like trying to make a great living is he's got leverage. And his hour counts thousands and thousands and thousands of times. He does thousands of hours of work in 1 hour. Let me explain it to you. If you have staff and you've got a virtual assistant or somebody like that, or you're in a network marketing and you've got a downline, or you're at an office place and you've got secretaries and staff and other people working for you and developing, if you have a meeting and you get 1 hour's worth of work, but if there's 2 people, you can get 2 hours worth of work. If there's 4 people, you get 4 hours worth of work in that 1 hour. People like that costs money. Yes. The biggest issue people run into is they've been taught from childhood how much for an hour's worth of time. People sell their time for money. What I would encourage you to do is take your money and buy time. Because if you can buy time, you can leverage it. Abby my wife is just amazing. She's a doctor, she's a concert pianist, she is a chef, she's got lots of great hobbies, she's a phenomenal mom. And she was one day saying something about laundry and I said, oh, please tell me you got the kids doing the laundry. And she goes, well, it needed to get done. I was like, don't ever do something that you can pay somebody to do. If you can write a check, you don't have a problem, is what one of my mentors said. And it kind of stuck with her, like, well, I said, honey, you're brilliant. You should be teaching all these women. She's working on empowering women. I mean, she's just phenomenal. She's got a group of ladies that she works with. But I'm like, no, you don't ever touch the laundry. Your time is too valuable, and we can pay somebody who would be very, very grateful to have a job to do that for us. And that's not saying like, oh, you need to wait on us hand and foot. No, we're just using our influence smarter. What are you doing that you could use your influence smarter, that you could get stuff done and leverage your time? And that's really what we try to do. The internet has changed leverageability because you can now scale and you can run ads and you can market. And instead of it requiring tons and tons of time, you can just throw dollars at it. And it creates this scalability. And that's why you're seeing nearly 2,500 millionaires a day being added to the population. If you can learn time, leverage, scalability, you can become one of them. And that's really where it comes down to. Take your time, figure out what it is. I was stunned. I was doing some research because we have kind of the serial entrepreneur thing, but I was looking at the #1 earner on YouTube right now. And I was like, I have 5 of these. Is a little boy who turned 8 a couple of weeks ago in October 2019, does $22 million a year playing with toys. $22 million a year playing with toys. You can do anything. And my first thought was, we need to get Sophie playing with some baby toys. But it's true. So the more you leverage, the more you scale, the more time you have. You want more time? Take the time you have, look at it. Time is money, which is tomorrow's thing. We're gonna go over some financial stuff. But if you want more information on scalability and leverage, join the 30-day course. We do all that stuff, and we kind of touch on all the different aspects of health, wellness. In the intro, I mentioned the 5 components that we work with. First one being physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial. We'll talk about in the 30 days, we talk about optimizing living in your body. We talk about your relationships, all that stuff. But we also talk about, from the financial standpoint, that either you have a business that you want to scale, or you're looking for a business and you're wondering what scaling is. And we cover all that stuff in the 30-day. But basically, download hit the button, download the paperwork. There's 4 schedules in there. There's a blank one that's just basically 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And you can literally just write in what you want. And people are like, I don't know what to put in. So what I did is I took in a typical person's 9-to-5 job. You know, they get up at 7-ish, they get ready, they leave at 8:30, get to work at 9, work 9 to noon, have an hour for lunch, 1 to 5, get in the car, drive home, free time, family time, and then they have their Netflix and chill time. If I was there, and by all means, don't quit. Don't be like, I'm just gonna go do whatever he's doing. That's a dumb idea. But what I'm saying is, if you're there, go, here's where I have time to leverage and maximize where I want to go. And so my third one is, this is how I would live if I had a 9-to-5 job. And then my fourth one is my actual schedule that I literally made up like 3 days ago because I was getting ready to start a whole new project. My days were pretty empty. I like to get, I believe Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work week is the best thing in the world for me. Because I have lots of interests, I like to spend a lot of time with my kids. And so if you can leverage that, I totally recommend it. So my schedule is really full for the next 60 days, and then it'll scale back. You can look at it and you'll see that I have 3 2-hour blocks where I work 2 hours at a time in each of the different areas. I actually only work about 90 minutes and I take a 30-minute break from each one to transition so that I'm in the headspace to work on whatever I'm working on. I am a phenomenal multitasker. I got 5 kids, I have to be. But the reality is if you can transition and focus, you'll get into a flow state, which we talk about in the 30-day, and you can get more done in that 2 hours than you can in a regular 10-hour day. So there you go. Check out the schedules, get it done, maximize your life, and we'll see you tomorrow.